It was 1 year ago that the Minnesota Vikings decided to make a seismic shift in their leadership of their football team, firing head coach Mike Zimmer, firing general manager Spielman, and Zimmer had been head coach since 2014. Spielman had been an exec since 2006, so it was a major change up at the top for the Vikings. And for the general manager search, it came down to two guys, Ryan Poles, who ultimately went and took the Bears job, and Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, the analytics guy who was assistant general manager from the Browns. Now, I admit, I like me some Ryan Poles. I love him coming from the scouting department side, former offensive lineman, him working with the Chiefs. But then he started talking, and then I was just like, yeah, we're rolling with Kwesi. Oh, we're going to take the North back and never give it back. Blah. Yeah, okay. And then Kevin O'Connell came in, and you're thinking, okay, finally, we got ourselves a young offensive-minded head coach that we can have continuity on offense. He's worked with Kirk Cousins before. He can unlock Justin frickin' Jefferson the way that Cooper Kupp in the Rams offense last 2 years ago when they won the Super Bowl, where Kevin O'Connell was the OC, where Cooper Kupp won the Triple Crown, Super Bowl MVP. Woo! Absolutely love to see it, man. And he did. I mean, Jefferson blew up the season, leading the league in receptions and yards. And yes, I was intrigued by the Harbaugh scheme, man. Just given Harbaugh's record in the National Football League with the Niners, and he had a modicum of success with Michigan. And I mean, it would have been interesting. Although, demeanor-wise, you generally don't go from hard-ass to hard-ass. You go from hard-ass to players coach to hard-ass to players coach, back and forth. Kevin O'Connell's definitely a players coach. Harbaugh and Zimmer, definitely both hard-asses. But wasn't meant to be. You know, Harbaugh flew in. He had worked with Kwesi in San Francisco, and Harbaugh thought it was a coronation, and Kwesi thought it was an interview, and it just didn't work out. But I'm super happy with Kevin O'Connell and Kwesi Adofo-Mensah. They're rebuilding the culture. They got people believing, and 13 wins at division title. Year one of a competitive rebuild. It's not bad. But just looking back at the candidates, like, this is wild. And there were some elite candidates in the mix. So Todd Bowles, who became the Bucs head coach, taking over for BA. Jonathan Gannon, who's now the head coach of the Cardinals. Super weird dude. And former assistant DB coach for the Vikings. Again, would have been awkward him taking over Zimmer's old job, but whatever. Patrick Graham, who was a finalist. So the four finalists were Patrick Graham, Raheem Morris, and Kevin O'Connell, and I guess Jim Harbaugh. Sure. But Patrick Graham is still the Raiders DC. Nathaniel Hackett, dodged one there, bro. I mean, he was the head coach of the Broncos for like 2 seconds. Sure. Harbaugh, yeah. Kellen Moore, who interviewed for the Panthers job this time around, but then parted ways with the Cowboys. Now he's OC of the Chargers. Sure. Raheem Morris, a guy I love and respect. Kevin O'Connell, both of them were coordinators on that Super Bowl winning team with the Rams last year. DQ Dan Quinn, who's taken his name out twice, is still the defense coordinator of the Cowboys, former head coach of the Falcons, yes, 28-3, and of course DeMeco Ryans, who's now the head coach of the Texans. And you remember, DeMeco withdrew his name from consideration from the Vikings race. Now, I mean, candidates do this for a number of reasons. A, they're not getting the job. B, they don't really want the job. And I actually think it may be more of the latter, where maybe Ryan thought, okay, I'll run it back with the number one defense in the league. I'll get another year of seasoning, and then the Texans job will open up again, because I'm sure that they'll fire Lovey after one season, and he got his perfect job. So maybe that's how it worked out. But again, it's impressive for Kevin O'Connell to emerge from this list, because a number of these guys, Bowles, head coach, Gannon, head coach, Hackett, head coach for a little bit, DQ and Raheem Morris certainly should be in the mix for the head coaching jobs. DeMeco Ryans is now a head coach. So, I mean, he was interviewing with a group of guys who were hired either this offseason or last offseason to be head coaches around the league. So, it's pretty impressive that he got it. And in terms of the GM finalists, so it did come down to Kwesi and Poles. Poles took the Bears job. And you had that awkward couple of days where Kwesi was the only finalist left, but they still made him come in for like the second or third interview. He was just like chilling at, formerly Winter Park. Now the Earl of Egan, whatever. And also you look around, Brandon Brown, Glenn Cook, seen as rising stars on the personnel side. Monty Austinford, the pride of University of Minnesota Morris. He is obviously now the GM of the Cardinals. Catherine Raish, who went from the Eagles and joined the Browns as their assistant GM, basically taking over Kwesi's old job. Spytek is seen as a rising stud. Elliot Wolf, son of Ron Wolf, who was in the running to be the Packers GM before Gutekunst took over. So, I mean, again, This was a creme de la creme group of GM candidates, and it's impressive that Kwesi came away with the job, just like it's impressive that Kevin O'Connell came away with this gig as well. And I'm in. Where you can look back and be like, oh, maybe things could have been different. Who's got it better than us? Nobody. But love and respect Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell. I got my trust in them. They're going to build upon the 13-4 season, and they're not going to rest on their laurels, and they're going to tear down and rebuild this defense. The offense is going to be top dog again, and they're just going to get after it. But it's fun looking back. Anyways, your thoughts are thoughts. Take a look at the Vikings GM head coaching search, GM search, word salad 1 year later. Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skull Production Value.